Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Remember to like and subscribe for better spells next time you play. Maybe. To celebrate Season 3 of Castlevania on Netflix, today we're building Sypha, the main magic user of the Castlevania party. It's an important role to be sure. No tricycle is complete without the third wheel.
Well, it's nice meeting you. Tell your gay friends I said bye. Gay friend?
Trevor.
Again?
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need fire. Demons hate it in Castlevania, even if the ones in the monster manual don't seem particularly bothered by it. Next, we'll get some damage diversity with a bit of cold to balance out the hot, like we're Shaq's favorite back cream. Finally, we need to be light on our feet. Vampires hit hard. Let's just try not to get hit. For stats, we're using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want. Shouldn't be an issue here unless you roll as badly as I do. Intelligence is number 1. The speakers like to study. I guess I don't know that they like it, but they do it a lot. Dexterity after that, you're just about as quick on your feet as the other party members who are both dex-based fighters, so that's impressive. Constitution after that, it'll help you keep some of your more involved spells up and make sure you don't die. Follow that up with wisdom. Your insight is strong enough to know Trevor is a good boy before he knows it himself. Charisma's a little low. You're likable, but kind of a dork and will dump strength. Reading books doesn't make you strong, even if the books are heavy. Sypha is a human, so sharpen your pitchforks. I'm making another variant human. Hobgoblins get an intelligence boost and never really get made from what I've seen, so if you want your speaker magician to bring some diversity to the game, that would be a good pick. Variant humans get a feat at level 1, and the Warcaster feat gives you advantage on all your concentration saves. You can use somatic components with your hands full, and cast a spell with an opportunity attack as long as it only targets one person. Buff your constitution and your intelligence with your 2 free points. Take acrobatics for your skill of choice, and the cloistered scholar background for history and arcana proficiency. While Trevor was getting drunk and Alucard was sleeping, you were hitting the books. Kick things off as a wizard, letting you grab 2 skills from the wizard list. Religion and insight should round out your knowledge of all the creepy crawly things trying to end the world. Wizards get 3 cantrips right away. Firebolt is a ranged spell attack that deals 1d10 fire damage to one target and can ignite flammable objects. Frostbite forces a constitution save on one creature of 8 plus your intelligence modifier and proficiency bonus, dealing 1d6 cold damage to those that fail and giving them disadvantage on their next weapon attack as well. Finally, light creates a light so your human eyes don't have to suffer through dark corridors and catacombs. For spells, holy moly, wizards get way more spells than any other class, with 6 in their spellbook at first level, and they can add 2 more every level after that. For a 20th level wizard, that means 44 spells, which is kind of a lot to try and cram into one video. So instead, what we'll be doing is describing the amount of spells you can have prepared per long rest, because that's how many you'll be using anyway. If you want to add more spells, do it. These builds shouldn't be 1 for 1 at home anyway. First up, Ice Knife from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. It's a fun little spell. First, you make a ranged spell attack, dealing 1d10 piercing damage on a hit. Hit or miss, the icicle explodes, dealing 2d6 cold damage to those that fail a dexterity save within 5 feet of where you were targeting, half as much on a success. Burning Hands forces a dexterity save on creatures in a 15-foot cone, dealing 3d6 fire damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. Personally, I don't think it's as fun as a little icicle grenade, but you do you. Featherfall removes falling damage for up to 5 falling creatures in case the floor blows up and you start plummeting. Finally, we'll grab a little defense, with the shield spell letting you add 5 to your AC as a reaction when somebody attacks you until the beginning of your next turn, which is great because those speaker robes aren't exactly plate armor. First level wizards also get Arcane Recovery, letting you recover spell slots equal to half your wizard level on a short rest, which should help you get ready to fight some vampires even if you only have time for a quick nap. Second level wizards pick a school, and evocation wizards can sculpt their spells to keep their friends safe. You pick a number of creatures equal to 1 plus the spell's level to automatically succeed on the saving throws, and they take no damage if they would normally take half damage. This is great for spells like Burning Hands or even Ice Knife, considering it makes a little AoE right next to the person you're attacking. For this level spell, Identify lets you know what a magical item does and how many charges it has left if it's the kind of item that has charges. So you can figure out what special relics do and if they could be useful to save the world. Third level wizards can cast second level spells. Scorching Ray creates 3 balls of fire that deal 2d6 fire damage each. You can fire these at multiple targets or all at one, so if there's a bunch of baddies, you could spread it out, or if there's just one Dracula-shaped person, aim them all at him. Fourth level wizards get an ability score improvement. Go for intelligence, because a bigger modifier means that you can have more spells per long rest and make them more accurate. For spells at this level, Snillock's Snowball Swarm forces a dexterity save on creatures in a 5-foot radius sphere, dealing 3d6 cold damage to those that fail, and giving you a better cold damage AoE than your Frostbite. Gust of Wind creates a 60-foot long, 10-foot wide line of wind coming from your person, forcing a strength save on creatures inside. Failing that, they're pushed back 15 feet along the line, and regardless, moving through the area requires double the movement. Sometimes you don't feel like fighting things. Sometimes you just want to push things away. 5th level wizards can learn 3rd level spells. Fireball forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 20-foot radius sphere, dealing 8d6 fire damage to those that fail. Compare this to the snowball swarm, which is just 1 level lower. The damage is 5d6 higher, and the size is over 60 times larger. The designers of 5e have pointed out that Fireball is a little bit busted, so yeah, I'd scoop it up if I were you. 6th level evocation wizards get potent cantrip, meaning enemies still take half damage when they pass a saving throw from your cantrips, which is why I went for Frostbite rather than Ray of Frost, which is just a ranged spell attack. For this level spell, Counterspell shuts down a spell of 3rd level or lower automatically, and can shut down higher level spells with a check of 10 plus the spell's level. Sypha can shut down spells from Dracula. That's what I call abjuration. 7th level wizards can learn 4th level spells. Ice Storm creates a 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder of swirling ice, forcing dexterity saves on creatures inside and dealing 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 4d6 cold damage to those that fail, half to those that succeed. This also turns the area into difficult terrain until the end of your next turn, so it's great for slowing someone down. 8th level wizards get another ability score improvement, letting us cap off our intelligence, and you get to have an extra spell prepared per long rest. Wall of Fire creates a 20-foot high, 1-foot wide wall of fire that can either be 60 feet long or a ringed wall 20 feet in diameter, forcing a dexterity save on creatures in the area, dealing 5d8 fire damage if they fail, and they'll automatically take that damage if they're within 10 feet of the side of the wall that you choose. Pretty great for crowd control on monsters, or the worst monsters of all, humans. I'd also scoop up mage armor back from the 1st level to make your AC 13 plus your dexterity modifier when you're not wearing armor. Lasts for 8 hours and doesn't require concentration, so you can keep yourself safe even when fighting an immortal bloodsucker. 9th level wizards can learn 5th level spells. Legend lore lets you put your speaker knowledge to use, letting you get a little information on a person, place, or thing from the DM. The more you already know about said noun, the more information you're going to get about it. And with your considerable knowledge skills, you should be getting some pretty specific and helpful stuff. As always, DMs, this is a 5th level spell. Give your players something useful, please. I told them to take this spell. 10th level evocation wizards get empowered evocation, adding your intelligence modifier to the damage of evocation spells you cast, including your cantrips, which should help you put out some more consistent hurty, even with your free spells. For this level spell, Cone of Cold creates a cone of cold damage, forcing a constitution save on creatures in a 60-foot cone coming from your person. Failing that, they take 8d8 cold damage, half as much on a success. And hey, this is an evocation spell, meaning that you can add your intelligence modifier to the damage, fully freezing any unholy thing that wants to hurt humanity. 11th level wizards can learn 6th level spells. Wall of Ice creates 10 10-foot square panels of ice that you can form into whatever shape you want, as long as one of the panels touches the other one, forcing a dexterity saving throw on creatures in that area, dealing 10d6 cold damage to those that fail, half to those that succeed. Each panel has an AC of 12 and 30 HP. When it gets destroyed, the area is still cold, dealing 5d6 cold damage to creatures that move through it, and half as much to those that succeed on a constitution save. It doesn't say anything about slicing vampires in half, so check with your DM about that. 12th level wizards get another ability score improvement. I'm going to recommend dexterity here, though constitution would be nice too. It just feels more in character to be nimble rather than bulky. For this level spell, we need some more heat to keep the fire and ice balance up. Investiture of Flame wraps you in a bunch of fire, making you immune to fire damage. Creatures that end their turn within 10 feet of you take 1d10 fire damage, and you can shoot 15-foot long lines of fire that deal 4d8 fire damage to creatures that fail a dexterity save, half as much to those that succeed. Sypha doesn't ever fully set herself on fire, but the on-demand flamethrower hands is pretty nice and pretty in character. 13th level wizards can learn 7th level spells. Delayed Blast Fireball creates a little bead of fire that's ready to blow up. Its base damage is 12d6, but the longer you hold the concentration, the more damage it does, an extra d6 every round you hold it. The bead can be thrown with a dexterity save or launched through a sling, and the explosion radius is 20 feet like a normal fireball. This can do some absolutely massive damage if you've got the time, and your Warcaster feat should help you hold the concentration to make sure that it does. 14th level evocation wizards get Overchannel, which lets you forego rolling and automatically deal maximum damage with an evocation spell of 5th level or lower that isn't a cantrip. Cone of Cold is probably your best bet here, automatically dealing 64 cold damage. You can technically use this as much as you want, but the second time it deals 2d12 necrotic damage to you and an additional 1d12 necrotic each time you use it. This is what makes evocation the premier caster class to deal massive damage. For this level spell, Whirlwind creates a 10-foot radius, 30-foot foot high cylinder of wind, forcing a dexterity save on creatures inside, dealing 10d6 bludgeoning damage to those that fail and half as much to those that succeed. But if they fail, they have to make a strength save as well, or they're sucked into the whirlwind and restrained, then lifted up 5 feet every round. They fail it again. Once they make the save, they get yeeted 3d6 times 10 feet away in a random direction. Oh, and you can move the whirlwind 30 feet with your action on following turns. There's a lot of business with this spell, but it's pretty dang fun to use. I highly recommend it. 15th level wizards can learn 8th level spells. Incendiary Cloud creates a 20-foot radius sphere of fire that rolls 10 feet away from you each round, forcing a dexterity saving throw on creatures inside or creatures that enter the area for the first time, dealing 10d8 fire damage to those that fail and half to those that succeed. It lasts for up to a minute depending on your concentration, letting you really rack up the fire damage. Maybe Trevor can wrap someone up with the whip and lock them in the area? I don't know, could be helpful. 16th level wizards get another ability score improvement. At this point I'm going to recommend some more constitution for more HP, but mostly for more concentration. Dropping your walls or clouds could be kind of a bummer. For this level spell, we're actually going to dip back to the 3rd level for Dispel Magic, letting you remove the effects of a spell of 3rd level or lower automatically, pretty much just like Counterspell, except as an action instead of a reaction, so you can get things done on your own time. Also like Counterspell, you can shut down higher level spells with an intelligence check of 10 plus the spell's level, or just bump the Dispel Magic spell slot up to an 8 and shut down 8th level spells automatically. Dracula doesn't strike me as a 1st level caster. 17th level wizards can learn 9th level spells, and Sypha never really summons meteors or insta-kills anyone, so I'm going to go with the Foresight spell to maximize nimbleness, letting you touch a creature to give them advantage on attack rolls, skill checks, saving throws, immunity to being surprised, and creatures attacking them will have disadvantage as well. Lasts for 8 hours, no concentration required. Don't get me wrong, it's your spell, probably cast it on yourself, but you can also cast it on your boyfriend or your boyfriend's boyfriend. Foresight is pretty strong on a melee fighter. 18th level wizards get Spell Mastery, letting you cast 1 1st level spell and 1 2nd level spell at will without expending spell slots. At this point, your cantrips are dealing their max damage, which is probably more than your 1st level spells, so I'd recommend Shield for your 1st level spell, basically giving you a permanent +5 to your AC as long as you don't miss taking opportunity attacks. For the 2nd level spell, Gust of Wind isn't about damage, just putting your massive saving throw DC to work. For this spell's level, magic weapon I guess, it adds +1 to attack and damage rolls to a weapon for an hour depending on your concentration. Hopefully the boys got something from the DM at this point, but they're kind of helpless without you. It might be useful to keep this in your book. 19th level wizards get our last ability score improvement. I think I'll throw it on dexterity for better AC. When you have Foresight going, I'm counting on you avoiding more hits than soaking them up. For this level spell, Hold Monster is a 5th level spell that paralyzes a monster that fails a wisdom saving throw for up to a minute depending on your concentration. They can also re-roll the saving throw on their turns. I specifically avoided taking Hold Person as vampires are undead, so it wouldn't really work on them, wouldn't work on demons, wouldn't work on a bunch of stuff. But paralyzing an enemy for the boys is really worth that 5th level slot, pretty much guaranteeing crits from melee attacks as they just have to land an attack with advantage on the roll. They're 19th level at this point as well. Hopefully they can manage that. Our capstone is the 12th level of Wizard for signature spells, letting you pick 2 3rd level spells to cast once per short rest without expending a spell slot, and they don't count against your prepared spells. Fireball is kind of a no-brainer. I guess I'll throw Dispel Magic on there too. Shutting down buffs and getting rid of fear can be nice. It's also time for our last spell. This is the 20th level. It's got to be high level stuff. Jump triples the jump distance of a creature you touch for a minute. She's got a little puff of wind that helps her get vertical. It's anticlimactic, but it's accurate. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, wizards deal big damage. Evocation wizards deal really consistent big damage thanks to Overchannel and Empowered Evocation. You're also pretty great defensively. Foresight is a 9th level spell worth of protection. Your mage armor makes your AC 17, and you can cast shield like a cantrip to basically have 23 AC every round. Finally, you've got great knowledge rolls, identify, and legend lore to make sure you're getting all the knowledge you can handle. For weaknesses, despite your big spell list, Sypha really likes to focus on fire and ice. Those are 2 damage types that are pretty commonly resisted by fiends. You've also got about 20 spells we didn't talk about though. Maybe just find some other damage types. It's one of the main features of the wizard class. You've also got a lot of concentration spells, so you'll have to pick and choose what you want to use, even if you're actually pretty decent at the concentration saves. Finally, you're still rocking a wizard's hit die, with HP somewhere in the mid to low hundreds, meaning that when you take hits, you're gonna take them hard. So good thing you're ready to avoid hits. Get your speaker robes on, send out a bunch of fire and ice to take out anyone who hits you. Just remember that even though the things you're fighting are immortal, that doesn't mean you are. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week, and we make 3 videos every week on Tulok and Mango. Right now we're playing through Dark Souls 3. Come check it out.